There has been a ton of information coming out about these Epstein files all over social media. And my initial reactions when I'm seeing all this get released and people discussing this names in the files or that names in the files, first off, it doesn't surprise me. And the reason why I say that is because I remember back in 2008, I was heavy into studying the Illuminati, especially in the music industry. And it shocked me when I first saw this information because you're not really paying attention as a kid growing up. But that really opened my eyes to other things going on in our society. And I put it down after about 3 or 4 years of just studying and seeing what's going on behind the scenes because at the end of the day, these people have a lot of power and we can have conversations and that's awesome and we can bring it to light. I'm fine with all that. But I'm a Christian and whatever is in darkness, it will eventually get exposed in the light. So if justice isn't being done to the people involved, then I believe as a Christian, they'll face judgment when God comes back. That's my perspective. But just seeing the reports of like children, I'm not going to go into details, it's really sad. There's no doubt about it. There are victims here who have been scarred, who are now in the public eye, and people just don't trust the government. They haven't for a while, but now you see all this coming to light. You're going, hmm, I'm not totally shocked because, like I said, just looking at what happened, especially in the Diddy situation, that was like one of the first things where things in the dark really came out and got exposed. And this guy Epstein, man, like what they did is just a travesty. It doesn't matter who you follow politically. If the name's there, it's there. Like we can, vote for Donald Trump or vote for somebody else. However, if somebody is involved with something that's corrupt and you don't want to speak up or say, hey, that's wrong, then you're part of the problem as well. You can support somebody, whether it's a musician, an actor, whoever it may be. But if they got some dirt on their hands, then you got to criticize it. You got to not stand for them in those behaviors. So for me, when I see people defending Trump and saying that, oh, he's a great president and let's dismiss all the things he did. But if there's files out there, we have to talk about it. And it's not just Trump, it's other people. Like the Clintons are going to be testifying on camera in house investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. So that's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But like I said, Republican, Democratic, they both got their hands involved. There's no doubt about it. It doesn't matter like how you feel politically. They both have problems, in my personal opinion. That's why even if I say things that might sound conservative or might sound liberal, I try to stay in the middle because both parties have their flaws. And that's just my perspective. And you can have yours. I have no problem with that. But, just seeing this stuff and it's millions of files. And I find it interesting how there are so many files to go through because that's a lot of stuff to investigate. And on top of that, it makes me think how long were they holding this information from the public? Because there's reports about what the Biden administration had it and now it's being released because Trump said he will release the files. But then Elon Musk talked about how Trump's name is in there, yada, yada, yada. So it makes me wonder, like, how much corruption is really going on behind the scenes? How much they've changed the files, maybe? There are a lot of question marks. And the DOJ admits here that redaction errors in Epstein docs while names and files face scrutiny. So there's errors here. That's not good. Or is there errors? Are they just saying that to save face? Are they saying that because of all the criticism they've received from the public? It makes you wonder. Another thing is, I don't see a lot of mainstream media talking about it a lot. Makes you wonder, right? Why aren't they reporting this stuff? Because the general public is talking about it. You can go to Twitter, you can go to Instagram, you can go wherever. You will find this stuff online. And folks are talking about it nonstop because this is something you just don't brush over. You don't just like ignore what's going on. The highest of leadership has corruption. However you may feel about your politics, I don't care which side of the fence you're on. Whatever is evil is evil. Whatever is bad is bad. Doesn't matter. It's black and white. There's no gray area with this stuff. And like I said, I am not surprised whatsoever with any of this stuff because of the research I've done in the past with the music industry. Remember, I would watch these videos from G. Craig Lewis. He's a pastor. He went in detail about Illuminati and not just with the music industry, but like leaders and how we have a Freemasonry. You can conclude whatever you want from those pieces of information, but there is stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's not all going to be revealed. So we can have conversations. I'm all about the conspiracy theory because it's fun and conspiracy theories do come true. But at the end of the day, you just got to do your part. Be aware of what's going on in your society. Don't just ignore the things around you. But also, as a reminder, keep living your life, take care of your family, be productive, but acknowledge that there's some stuff in this world that isn't too pretty. And I'm glad people are talking about it. I think seeing things come to light like this can help society become more aware. My hope is that we just hold our leadership accountable, that we just keep talking about it, calling them out, and bringing things to light. And we're not going to get everything accomplished because that's never going to be something that will ever take place. We're exposing all sin. That's not realistic. However, we can still have conversations and say, look, that's just really, really disturbing stuff. And they got to face justice. Will these people face any? I highly doubt it. These are politicians and these are influencers. They got a lot of money and a lot of power. But I'm sure maybe the middleman or the lower tier leadership might face some justice. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's very disheartening, sad, pretty messed up, in my personal opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and reactions to the Epstein files going on. What are your thoughts? What have you looked up? And how do you feel about all this? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.